Okay, so today I quickly want to cover entries, and I want to talk about some of the new features in our tool. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at yesterday, okay, and we had a little bit of time on the mic, and we looked at. So this is SPY up here, and then below we have VIX 2 minutes, and we have VIX 1 minute. That's a little out of sync there. Not sure why. Let's get this back. Okay. So what we see there is that just after 10 a.m. we had a blue triangle on the VIX and a yellow triangle on SPY. Okay. Now, so when we talk about entries, obviously the better your entry, the better trade you'll have, the less you're going to have to cut. And a lot of people are still having issues with entries. So, what the best way to look at entries is when you have a technical reason to get in. For example, the indicator says, hey, we're going up. VIX says we're going down. So, that's your technical reason for getting in. So if you get in and when you get in, as long as that technical reason remains valid, then I think it's okay for you to stay in and give it a little bit of a breathing room. Okay. Now, when you get in and you go with the trend is very forgiving. So even if you get a little bit of a worse entry, you're still going to be better off than trading against the trend. Okay, the other thing you have to remember is when you look at each one of these candles, if you look at this candle, it has a wick down here. So it means that at some point this candle was way down here and it was red. So you could use these waves as entry points. Okay, now the other thing to keep in mind too is, and this is why I was a little slow yesterday to tell you guys to get in, is when you get in, and the technical reason is because we have a yellow triangle telling us that this could be a good time to get in. We have a green upper band, okay? But you always have to ask yourself, what is the next obstacle, okay, or the next potential target? And when you look at this, you'll see that if you're down here, the next obstacle would be the VWAP, and you know what could happen at the VWAP. It could reject, okay? What's the next potential target? Upper band. What's the next potential target? The 48 EMA. And you can see how we bounced. We got quite, resistance here up and down, trying to decide if we're going to go through this 48 EMA. Okay. And, honestly, I already took calls when we crossed the VWAP here, but I wasn't going to tell you guys to do it because it was too risky. And, and I took some partial profit here at the 48 EMA. And then once we bounced, I added more. But understanding what your technical reason is for getting in means that if this then turns down, you can immediately stop out. So if your technical reason says, hey, we're getting in here, and your technical reason is not valid anymore, you stop out. Okay. What's your next obstacle? If it's too close, then it's better for you to wait until you pass through it, you come back and retest it. And that's what I told you to do yesterday. Okay. I told you to wait for a retest from the top of the 48 EMA, which is this line over here. And if we bounce, that's a good time to get in. I also told you if the VIX gets and stay below that lower band, that's also a good time to get in. So whether you got in over here because we bounced off the 48 EMA, or whether you waited to see some fire on the VIX 2 minutes, you would have had a phenomenal entry. You would have made phenomenal money. So decide what's a good technical reason to get in. Take that entry, start with one contract, okay? And as long as your technical reason stays valid, give it some space. Okay, now if the price drops a little bit, but your technical reason is still valid, take one more contract, but no more, because if it becomes a loser, you should be cutting it and not adding to it. But while your technical reason is valid, there's no reason to get out of the trade. So, and if you look at this, this was a good entry because it said to get in, but it wasn't great because we were approaching the 48 EMA. So if you were a safe trader, you would have waited here. We got a blue triangle. If you were a very conservative trader, this yellow triangle here was a great entry. And you can see we have a green upper band. You took it. Hopefully you took it down there. It went red a little bit if you took this. Okay. But look at this phenomenal run. Okay. So as long as that upper band stays green, you can stay in the trade and give it some room. And then when you get a large candle like these, you always want to take partial profit because your contract, your option prices are inflated. So if you took profit over here, it probably would have been the same price as taking profit over there. So you have to realize that if you don't take profit or partial profit on big candles, it's going to take a while before you get back to that price. And that's also why you don't want to buy on these big candles. Okay. So again, I'm not going to tell you guys when to get in and when to get out. You have to trade it yourself. But I mean, we've talked a million times about how to read the indicators and what it tells you. And you can see that we had phenomenal signals yesterday. We got, what did I just do? Okay, then we got to the top and we got a blue triangle. And usually, I say don't trade against the trend. But then you can see the VIX immediately went to the upper band and was such a large move. You can totally consider playing the downtrend. But even if you didn't, as soon as the VIX goes to the opposite side of the 48 EMA, what's our rule saying? Now, taking puts are going with the trend because the VIX is on the opposite side of the 48 EMA, SPY is on the opposite side of the 48 EMA. So you would have had, a little bit of a move. It's not as big as taking it from up here, but I was talking to someone else, so I missed this this move from here, but then I took this candle right here when we were at this at the VWAP, and I got the put signal. I took one contract and I made $700 just on this one candle. Just and I sent a screenshot to Victory, so he knows it. I missed this move, but on this one candle, one SPX 0DT, I made $700. So can you imagine if you just simply listened to the indicator and took one contract from up here and just hold it? Maybe take two contracts, sell one for partial profit, set the other one at a stop loss where you just cannot lose. That's really the name of the game. I mean, this indicator, it's amazing. Combine it with the VIX and, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really good. And, we have multiple people that's very successful with it. It just comes down to the confidence where you see the technical reason to get in. You play small until you build up your confidence and you just hold on to it. Okay. Any questions on this before I go to the new tool and talk about what's new? Okay, so this is so there's quite a few things that's new in this tool. So if you look at this, I'm not gonna cover everything we already talked about, but you'll see. So remember, a pink/red background says we're below the 48 EMA. Green, we're above it. Now, if everything agrees, we have like this one, XLY, where we're below the 48 EMA. We have a blue triangle. The red line below says we have a red lower band. The green line says we have a green upper band. We have a put signal, and we have your red background over here. The flame now says that we're outside of the band. So in this case, below the lower band. If there's a flame on the green one, we're above it. But if all those things are true, then the entire line now is red or green. So you could see, so anything where the entire line is red or green shows you that it's a strong move. Everything's lining up. There's nothing inconsistent. So when you see Dixie with a solid line or your solid background, so that means that it's a strong move up. Obviously, go look at the charts. It's new software, so if you see any bugs or any delays or anything, let me know. If the description is bold, then it means that it just updated. You can see these, it just updated, and then it will stay bold for, I think a minute or so, and then it will unbold again. So those are some of the things that's new. Down here, you have a list of all the tickers. You can rearrange them. So if I want NVIDIA first in the list, I can click on it, edit it, remove it, move it to the front of the list, press enter, and now NVIDIA is at the top. If I only want to look at NVIDIA and nothing else, I just remove everything else. If I'm like, oh, what did I do? Erase everything, press enter, and it will reset your list. So you can change the order of this, and it will remember it. So if you press refresh on the browser, it's going to remember your last setting that you put in. Okay. Any questions before I stop the recording? Did all of this make sense? Okay, quiet bunch this morning. Okay, guys, I am going to stop the recording, and then we will watch the opening. And if you see anything, please type what you see. I'm not asking you to